In this video, we're going to investigate Pythagoras and his theorem. So Pythagoras is this guy over here. Just some old Greek guy. But actually, he was a pretty accomplished Greek mathematician who became very famous for one big thing. In ancient times, and actually through all time, people have been concerned with making sure that any objects they build, buildings, anything that's supposed to stand up, stand at right angles to the ground. So basically just standing straight up. And if you make that 90-degree angle, your objects will stand up pretty well. If you try to stand up an object from the ground though, and you have anything other than a 90-degree angle, well, hopefully we can see, like on this diagram, this is not 90 degrees, and you could probably guess that if you built an object like this, it's going to fall right over. So ancient builders and mathematicians had a question. How can we get a right angle every single time we build something with these old tools that we're using? They didn't have fancy tools like we have now to guarantee a right angle. Well, Pythagoras, he knew the answer to that. And we're going to take a look at how he found that answer. Now, many people before him recognized the property I'm about to show you, but Pythagoras was the one to give it a formal definition. And what Pythagoras looked at is what is known as a right triangle, a triangle with a single right angle, or a single 90-degree angle. In right triangles, the two sides that make the right angle, we call the two legs of the triangle. The side opposite the right angle, the longest side of this triangle, we call the hypotenuse. Well, what Pythagoras was able to explain was that if I call one of the legs A, we say it has length A, and you build a square off of that. Well, for any square, all the sides are the same, so we have A, another A, and finally a fourth A. And the area of a square is side times side. A times A, or we can shorten that down to A squared. And let's call the other leg B. Building a square off that one, so 4 sides length B, we would get an area of B squared. And finally, if we build a square off that hypotenuse, and we label that side C, so that all sides of that square are also C, the area of this square will be C squared. What Pythagoras was able to prove, and something that still carries his name to this day, is what's known as the Pythagorean Theorem. And Pythagoras was able to recognize that if you took the A squared and B squared, the two squares built on the legs, and add them together, it will always give you C squared as long as you are working with a right triangle. So in order to guarantee a right angle, all ancient builders and mathematicians needed to do was guarantee that they were forming a right triangle by using Pythagoras' theorem.